Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning again on Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, and your state number one family radio station. Top of the morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the program. Studio time check says it is 6:34 a.m. right here from the studios of Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Today, the second day in the month of April 2025, the fourth month, or the second day in the fourth month of the year 2025. Again, April is moving, and then we're moving with it. We pray that God's presence will journey with us through this month and make our ways and path straight. Amen. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo, and thank you for joining us, where we go through the stories, top stories, headline news, with in-depth analysis to help us make sense of all of that in Nigeria for the brand new day. This morning, I have the Nigerian Tribune and the Guardian newspaper right on the table. We go through the front page of the both of them, and when we come back right after that, we dive straight into in-depth analysis to help you make sense of all the stories in Nigeria for today. Once again, good morning. All right, welcome back to the program. Let's start with the Nigerian Tribune on page 3. NHRC reps minority caucus condemn killing of 16 hunters in Edo State. That's on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. On page 5, Ekiti Airport targets 24 hours flight operation, says Oyebanji. The writer says, and insists Ekiti economy has improved under his watch. And on page 5, which is the major story on the front page of the Tribune for today, Natasha defies all odds, arrives Kogi in helicopter. The writer says, addresses the large crowd in her homecoming rally, says, I am not a bastard, I am an Ebera woman, and I am not afraid of anybody. The final lawmaker says, lawmaker attempting to manipulate public sentiment, says Kogi government. And on page 5, how Nigeria can maximize $500 million World Bank loan, LCCI, on page 4. On page 6, immigration arrests 51 illegal migrants in Nasarawa State. Another says on page 4 here, Ponzi operators risk 10-year jail term, 20 million naira fine, says SEC. And on page 22, CBN reports $23 billion net foreign exchange reserves, highest in over 3 years. And the photo story, supporters of Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan at a rally held in a community in a local government in Kogi State to welcome her back home on Tuesday. And that's the photograph of the suspended senator addressing her supporters right there on the Nigerian Tribune. You find it that this morning. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper. On page 3, I feel depressed over reverse emergency rule, says Fubara. It is well. And on page 3, Natasha returns in chopper, addresses supporters at Hiema, on page 3. On the same page, Donald Trump's third-term bid, bad omen for Africa, says Ozekeme, other lawyers. And on page 6, discos may take 11 years, 1.4 trillion naira to bridge 7.2 million metering gap. On page 6, 11 years, 1.4 trillion naira to bridge the 7.2 million metering gap. 11 years is a long time. All right. The analysis of the crisis going on around Nigeria's electricity metering crisis. We have that chat on the Guardian this morning. It's clear, and I'll just say that you go straight to the front page, grab a copy this morning, either online or call your vendor and read up. And top performing discos include Ikeja, Ibadan, Abuja, and low performing Port Harcourt and Yola. Let's move on to page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Controversy over leaked tribunal judgment as Edo government, APC, PDP claim victory. On page 4, federal government to withdraw idle oil blocks, charge IOCs to drill or drop. On page 30, Kano justifies Sanusi's ring statement as monarch pays Salah homage. In business, Nigeria's net FX reserves rose to $23 billion in December, says the CBN. And on page 5, Okon, Don decries deplorable state of Nigerian varsities on page 5. And finally, Niger exit multinational joint task force on page 30. That's all we can take this morning. We read from the Guardian newspaper and the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Once again, thank you for joining us on the program. You can watch us live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Again, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Do well to like the video, drop your comment on that video, and of course remember to share that video. It's very important. If you're on YouTube, you can also watch us on YouTube this morning on our YouTube page, Wells Radio 893 FM. Wells Radio 893 FM. Thank you for joining us. With me in the studio to help us make sense of all of the stories making the rounds in Nigeria today, Chukwemeka Munachiso. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
All right. It's the midweek edition of the program. So remember, while we have our conversation here, we also invite you, our darling listener at home, to share your thought and your perspective. To nation building, it is our right, because we have right to quality broadcasting, and so we can also share, our own contribution. The goal is to build our nation and not to drop the ball. On the Punch newspaper this morning, there's a breaking news that says President Bola Tinubu sacks NNPC boss Kyari, names Ojulari as replacement. Maybe we start with that story before we go to Natasha. All right, let's start from the NNPC before we go to Natasha. Although Natasha's story seems to be the biggest across major dailies, and this is a breaking story on the Punch, and we read from that. And Chukwemeka will, share his thought and weigh in on that, and then we open the phone lines and start our day. In a sweeping reconstitution of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited Board, President Bola Tinubu has removed the chairman, Pius Akinyolure, and the Group Chief Executive Officer, Mayor Kyari. Consequently, he appointed Bashir Ojulari as the new CEO, effective from the 2nd of April 2025. Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, reviewed the development in a statement he signed in the early hours of Wednesday, titled President Tinubu Reconstitute NNPC Limited Board, appoint new chairman and group CEO. President Bola Tinubu, all other board members appointed with the suspended or the sacked board and CEO in November 2023. The new 11-man board has Engineer Bashir Bayo Ojulari as the group CEO, Amadou Musa Kida as the new non-executive chairman. Adedapo Shegun, who replaced Umaru Ajiya as the chief financial officer last November, has also been appointed to the new board. Chukwemeka, let's look at this story. I know you, for one, and this is not your first time, and then you've expressed this publicly, your opinion on whether Kyari should still be, the CEO of NNPC. And a lot of people, just like you, have always, also said in time past that you don't think it should still be there, going by some of the issues that we have seen in time past. But do you think this reshuffle, sacking, or probably error done or not is characterized by the Naira for dollar crude oil sale, or the increment we're getting in the market, or this is just a precedent listening to Nigerians?
You see, I am not... a lot of Nigerians have expressed that sentiment, that Mele Kyari has overstayed his welcome, starting from Buhari till the present date, and we have not really had any dividends of his leadership as far as that body is concerned. But the question is, either suspended or sacked or whatever, Nigerians are not Nigerians are not really that interested in a replacement or being sacked or suspended. What Nigerians are yearning for on daily basis is a service delivery. Because Mele Kyari was there for a very long time, and many people don't know a lot of things happened under his watch, which has not put that organization in a very good light. And people were asking, why should you still retain this man? And now the man has gone. I pray that the man that is as Bayo Ojulare, we turn a new leaf. We do something drastically different from what Mele Kyari did. So Nigerians can have a new lease of life as far as oil matter is concerned in this country. So the question is, this Ojulare, Bayo Ojulare, Bashi Bayo Ojulare, where is he coming from? What are his antecedents? Is it just for him to come there and and be another Mele Kyari? But we have to watch what will happen in the coming days to see whether there is actually a new there's something new he's bringing to the table. If not, it's still the same thing. Nigerians need to know what exactly is going on in that organization. That organization belongs to Nigerians, and Nigerians need to know. We had a lot under as a Mele Kyari, non-remittance of so many things. You know what happened in the River State? Oh, this refinery has been fixed, it's working. We loaded 200. We only saw 6 trucks. We saw so many things. At the end of the day, people don't really understand what actually is going on in NNPCL. But the issue right now is there is somebody new. The president has brought somebody new. Whether he did it because Nigerians complained or he did it for every other reason, we are yet to understand until Bayo Ojulare begins to do what is expected of him. So we have to hold on and watch him and see whether there is something new coming. Because we have had a lot of change of guards in government circles, and yet nothing happened. It even became worse.
I'm still going to stay on the change of guard thing for a moment, but let's look at who is Bayo Bashir Ojulare.
That's the question.
Bayo Bashir Ojulare is the newly, of course, appointed Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Bayo is a seasoned Nigerian engineer with expertise in petroleum processes and production engineering. Before Bayo's appointment, he was Executive Vice President and the Chief Operating Officer of the Renaissance Africa Energy Company. His his exploit there led to the indigenous energy firms and the landmark acquisition of Shell Petroleum Company Limited of Nigeria, worth 2.4 billion. Bayo started his career as a first Nigerian process engineer before joining Shell Development Company in 1991, a native of Kwara State, and also served as MD of Shell Nigeria Exploration Company between 2015 and 2021, and an alumnus of Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, Mechanical Engineering, 1985 to 1989. Quite intimidating profile here. And I would say that on paper, Bayo is a professional in engineering and with strong affiliation with Shell Nigeria Exploration and Company Limited. Strong affiliation there with Bayo and the work. But with the change of guard situation, now the president seemed to be challenging this new executive with a strong one. The president expects the new board to elevate NNPC's share of crude oil refining output from 200,000 barrels by 2027 to 500,000 barrels by 2030. Maybe my question should then be, what are your expectations of this new new system? Are you expecting a reduction? Are you expecting strengthening whatever conversation is on between the crude Naira for crude situation? What are your expectations before I then open the phone lines and ask Nigerians?
If you ask me for my expectation from Bashir Bayo Ojulari, my expectation is transparency in anything that has to do with oil. Transparency, accountability, telling Nigerians exactly what is going on, because you are handling their property, which we didn't have under Mele Kyari. So that is my expectation. Transparency. Because when it comes to oil matters, everybody gets soiled. And you don't know who gets soiled, who brought in the, So Nigerians are desiring transparency, and I'm calling for transparency. Because this is the golden egg that we have in this country. So we need to know what actually is going on in that sector. That is my number one expectation from Bashir Bayo Ojulari. Let him tell Nigerians let everything be in the open. I know it's going to be difficult. And let him be accountable to Nigerians and not to interest groups, because there are a lot of interest groups. I know that he cannot be 100%, but at least let him be transparent enough for Nigerians to say, oh, this is how this thing is playing out. Let Nigerians be educated on oil matters. Let them be aware of what is going on. Let them not be kept in the dark. Let them not be abrogated as far as oil things are concerned in this country. So that's my expectation from Bashir Bayo Ojulari.
All right. This information was made public via a statement issued in the early hours of today, Wednesday, the 2nd of April, by the president's spokesman, Bayo Nonuga. And according to the statement, 11-man board has Engineer Bashir Bayo Ojulari as the group CEO and Amadou Musa Kida as the non-executive chairman. What are your expectations of this new reconstitution of the NNPCL? This is one organization in Nigeria that, whether you like it or not, is either you talk about them in a day, or you think about them in a day,
or you feel
the impact of NNPCL. So somehow, even if we want to say, I'm not interested.
You are interested.
You are interested.
Interested.
So what are your new expectations with this new CEO, especially? And you know what? The board is there, but over and over for every organization, you're talking about the chief executive officer. And sometimes you're not looking at the other people in the background.
There's nothing they are really going to do.
Exactly.
They are just there for being there.
Oh, well. Who knows? 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 2000, or 0915 334 893. I'll take the numbers again: 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 2000, and 0915 3334 893. Share your perspective with us this morning, your expectation of the newly appointed group executive, chief executive officer for NNPCL, Engineer Bayo Bashir Ojulari. Now let's go to Kogi State and talk about the homecoming of Natasha and, of course, words thereafter. Natasha defiles ban, get heroic welcome in Kogi State. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan received welcome from supporters in Kogi State on Tuesday, despite a government ban on rallies and processions. Supporters of Kogi Central, 5 local government, gathered early. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Bola Salami, I'm calling from Ibadan.
Good morning, Mr. Bola Salami from Ibadan.
All right. Well done. Okay, thank God that at last Mr. President has done the needful by kind of restructuring NNPC. For me, this is a huge development coming from the stable of Mr. President. However, my expectations rather are, one, that the incoming of engineer Bayo Bashir Ojulari to usher in a lot of this for Nigerians. First and foremost, transparency to Nigerians. Honesty. This man should have, first and foremost, have the interests of Nigerians at heart. He should know that he's coming to rescue a battered industry. NNPC has been regarded as the most opaque industry in the world. NNPC in Nigeria has been regarded as the most opaque industry. Nobody knows exactly what's going on there except those within that. Nigerians deserve more than that. So this man should please kind of salvage this industry. And may God be with him, Mr. President. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your perspective this morning and your expectation of what the new CEO should do. You too can join the conversation. We would like to have more this morning. And while we expect you to, call us in, we're still with the story of receiving Senator Natasha Oduagan, welcome in Kogi State. And supporter of the Kogi Central 5 local government areas gathered early in Iriama Oki local government to welcome the embattled PDP lawmaker. And amid music and celebration, she arrived dramatically in a white helicopter, a sparking cheer. And addressing the crowd, Akpoti Oduagan dismissed the government restrictions, insisting that she was merely celebrating Salah with her constituents. Natasha said, and I quote yesterday, "We heard the news that rallies and gatherings will not be allowed, that roads will be blocked and convoys leading to the state will not be allowed. I knew that were the target. But then I said, this is not political season. This is not campaign time," she added. "We're not having a rally. This is just me, the senator representing Kogi Central, coming down to her people to celebrate this festive time. The Salah with you, and there is nothing wrong with that. I am breaking no law. This is Nigeria. We have the right to be free to express our choice in gatherings and celebrations." Her homecoming followed a curfew imposed by the local government chairman of the community and warning from the police. She had earlier, accused Senator Godswill Akpabio and the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, of being behind any security threat in the state. The senator recently suspended by the Senate amid a sexual harassment controversy involving Akpabio, insists she's facing political prosecution. Let me get your reaction on that ovation that Natasha received. I mean, whether we like it or not, I'll call that a record-breaking ovation. The story is all over the internet for very obvious reasons. Natasha, a politician, or Natasha, someone playing on Nigerians' emotions. Is this a political visit, whether we like it or not, or some form of emotional appeal to gather more people to her side? The recall of Natasha as against what we saw, the reaction of the people, and that loud ovation. That again, I would like us to compare and contrast.
You see, Ayo, number one, I hope President Bola Ahmed Tinubu understands what is playing out in Kogi State. Because at the end of the day, history will remember that under his administration, so many things happened, like what is playing out in Kogi State. Kogi State is a state that is in desperate need for better governance. The state has not really been at par with other states in the federation in terms of responsible leadership and the dividends of civilian government. Irresponsible people who have no credentials to be in leadership position should have no place in government. You don't because you are a little man who want to play God. You want a sitting senator in the Federal Republic of Nigeria not to visit her home state because you are in power.
She's still a senator?
I'm coming. He's still a senator. He's still a senator. Even though they said for now she should not parade herself as a senator.
And that's why I'm asking
he's
that
still
question.
A senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Look, why coming up to impose coffee? To say no convoy, we enter the state. No this, we do this. Who gave you? Is that part of democracy? Is that part of dividends of democracy? What are you arriving at? Because these things go on because everything is allowed to go on here in this country. Remember what happened also. I will link you back to what happened in Lagos when they came up with Oro as a Lagos Island because there was something to be done. I think it was voting or something. It was a protest that people were about to organize. You said you came up with Oro. You are demystifying tradition. You're bringing tradition into political calculation. Now you are bringing your personal grouse with Natasha Akpoti Udwanga to play in Kogi State. No convoy, no rallies are allowed. For what purpose? This is a state where insecurity is at the highest level, and yet this has been arrested, and an individual want to come to the state. You want her not to come. Even police said you should defer her homecoming. For what purpose? Are you not supposed to provide security for her to visit her people? What are we really doing in this country? I don't understand. IGP Ebetoko is there. Who gave the order that this woman should not come home? Can they tell you not to come home in a democratic setting? This thing can only happen in a military as a regime. Are we in a military regime where a senator should not go home? He should not address the people. And you call the same people in the name of giving them palliative. Crookedly, you want them to sign a paper that they are recalling this woman. And this woman wants to visit her people. He says she should not come. I don't really understand. Anyway, I still believe we are not practicing democracy. People are just playing around. We are not practicing democracy. And I hope the president will understand that democracy is about the rule of law. Democracy is not about tiny individuals, small people, making laws that have no relevance to the society. I hope they understand that these things will pass away. Nothing lasts forever. One day they will cease to be governors. One day they will cease to be in the position where they are right now. And how will they feel if people begin to remember them for what they did while in power? I don't see the reason why Natasha should not go home. I don't see the reason why people should not come to welcome her. I don't see the reason why there should be convoy should not be allowed to enter into Kogi State. What's the meaning of all this? That goes to show that those we call leaders are truly have no credential to be in that position.
Let's look at the homecoming, the ovation of the people, the very beautiful welcome, and the recall. Already going on in Kogi State to recall Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan back home, and then of course replace Natasha. Is that recall the voice of the people? Looking at the chair and the ovation that Natasha received.
There's something I want to tell you, Ayo. Not everything is possible in a state where there is lawlessness, where there is no order. These people can take this recall paper to Anambra State, to Benue, and tell people to sign in the name that they are from Kogi. It can happen. We have seen what played out in Kogi State, that recall process is a ruse, is a sham, it's not working. These are people that you are saying that they want to recall the woman. Look at the people that came out. So are you going to manufacture, and they may take it to Oshanja Market or Dubai and tell people to come and sign and take it to Abuja that INEC is here our people. They said this woman should come back. By me looking at the people that came out, does Natasha look like people, like somebody that her people want her to come back home? Does she look like that? It doesn't, nah. But like I said, anything goes on here. They can take that paper to anywhere and gather people and say, come, sign, we will give you money.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, Mr. George from Olugweru. How are you today?
My name is George. I'm calling you from Olugweru.
Good morning, Mr. George.
I am very happy with what happened in the case of Natasha defeating her own constituency. If she has to go there, then the wicked are winning. And I'm happy she has gone there and she was received by her people. We should have to work together to quench this darkness that is trying to envelop the country. And the people of Kogi have proved that right by welcoming her. And I thank those who made it possible for her to make this visit. We pray that more of such should happen in other areas where people are proposing things that are not supposed to be. The issue of recall was not even that the signed paper and all the rest of it. We knew what came out of it, that it was engineered by some people who feel that they are the owner of the country. Now they have been proved that the people are the owner of this state. Then, thank God, what we have been asking for has been done concerning the NNPCL. Many Kyari, the almighty Mene Kyari, have stepped aside now. We pray that the president will be able to allow the new person that he has brought in to do the right thing, so that Nigerians will have another relief from issue of petroleum, so that we have peace, so that the issue of subsidy is gone and the rest of it will be straightened up, so that we can buy fuel at the right price and allow people to live their normal life. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. George from Ologweru. Thank you for your perspective.
Do you know another thing about Natasha's homecoming? Do you know that some senators cannot go to the constituency? We know a lot of them that have been stoned.
Sometimes last year.
No, Abuja is like a prison yard for most of them. They can't go to their constituency. This Natasha went to her constituency. It happened in Imo State. It happened in several states in this country.
Are you saying that even before whatever happened on the floor of the House, Natasha must have been very good to her people?
Very good to her people. She did a lot to her people. If not, they won't come out. Many senators cannot go to their constituency. Abuja is a prison yard for most of them. They can't go home. And they go from Abuja to overseas and return to Abuja. They can't go to their constituency because they know that they didn't do anything. But this woman worked for her people. That's why I still advocate that women should be allowed to take over this country. Women, honestly speaking, if they take over this country, we won't have all these issues of humongous corruption we're having in Nigeria. They are better managers than men. Better, far, far better. I'm telling you, if a woman tomorrow wins 2027, I'll be so glad. I will celebrate it. Because these people are people that God has wired to do the same, to be doing several things at the same time. And yet, they are not as corrupt as men. Our men are so corrupt. We have corrupted this country. So, look at what played out in Abuja. Look in Kogi. Look at the people that came out. A woman. He came out and they said people. He didn't do anything for her people. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Those people, do they look like people that are paid? They don't look like people that are paid. If you look at them, you know they are happy. They came out of their homes happy that they want to welcome their representative in Abuja. If it is other way around, when you see people that are paid, you will know. People that are giving a cup of rice, a goosey and everything to come out. You will know them. By their faces, you will know them. But these people, we are happy, transparently happy. You know that they came out en masse to welcome one of their own. Now, where is this recall? How will it end? You know, those people that are plotting all these things are put to shame.
All right, let's look at another version to the story now. The Kogi State government, condemned the allegation made by Senator Natasha, describing them as reckless, malicious, and falsely or hotly false. The government also called on security agencies to monitor Natasha's reckless utterance and actions, certain that she would be held accountable for any attempt to incite violence in the state. Let me take this call and I'll come back to that. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Miriam. I'm calling from Odegai.
All right, Miriam, good morning. Let's have your
Thank you.
perspective. Yeah.
As regards the petroleum sector and the military of it, when it comes to restoring normalcy in the sector, I think all options must be considered. And if sacking military is the solution, then so be it. Sincerely, that sector needs urgent attention, being one of the major contributors to Nigeria's economy. Well, I can only pray that the sector will now wear a new look. That's my good morning.
Good morning to you, Miriam. Thank you so much for the call now. Still looking at the situation around Senator Natasha here. In a statement on Tuesday by the State Commissioner for Information and Communication in the state, Mr. Kingsley Fanwo, the government dismissed Akpoti's claims that Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo and the former Governor Yahaya Bello and the Senate President Godswill Akpabio should be held responsible if anything happens to her. Fanwo described her allegation as another desperate and calculated attempt by an incurable liar and a serial manipulator to mislead the public, incite unrest, and present herself as a victim. And that's why I said the homecoming of Natasha, is this politics or emotional appeal?
Look, let me tell you something. Forget about the grammar from the information. forget about the drama. Nigerian man knows who is lying and who is saying the truth. Forget about that drama. They can cook up anything. I don't know Natasha from anywhere. I'm not from Kogi State. But I'm happy that she went home. And I'm happy that her people came to welcome her. And I'm happy that nothing will happen to her. You understand? Nothing will happen to her. Let the liars continue. Let them continue to concoct that position they are occupying. They can't stay there forever. There will be a judgment of history. Let them continue. You understand? Let them continue to hunt the woman. At the end of the day, the truth will not be. Look, it's only when you are lying, you try to remember something. Somebody that is saying the truth will not be forced to remember anything. It is already obvious that Natasha actually is loved by her people. It's actually obvious that, look, this woman must have done something for her people. Look at the way they came out. So, if it's a manipulator, you would have seen it on the faces of the people that, he shared the money to them. That's why they are there. You understand? But this is another breed. She may have her weaknesses as a human being. Everybody does. But the issue is that on this score, I stand with Natasha.
Where do you see, before we move away from the story, where do you see this Natasha narrative, the end of this story, a successful recall, Natasha's reinstatement back to the Senate, and of course, due process followed and investigations carried out to see whoever is at fault, whether Natasha's allegation is right or wrong, or whether Senator Akpabio situation of harassment is also true or not true.
Let me tell you
what's the end of this from your own worldview?
Yes,
just your prediction.
From my own this thing, the first victim of this Natasha Azibruhaha is Akpabio. The second victim, the Senate. The third victim, Kogi State. At the end of the state, these people have danced naked in the marketplace because people are now, look at what happened between Ezekwesili and this one that came from Ebonyi State, called himself as a Ebonyi, and saying that as a red cap chief, that Ezekwesili was not supposed to. Who gave her the red cap? Do you know the meaning of as a red cap? Forget, look, Ayo, let me tell you something. We have spoiled so many things in this country. Before you become a red cap chief in Igbo land, it takes a lot. You don't give it to irresponsible people. You don't give it to people who open their mouth and talk anyhow. You don't. But now you can go to Dubai and buy one red cap and put on your head and say you're a red cap.
I was going to say, I know that you own one red cap.
No, I don't wear red cap. I'm not qualified to wear red cap. There is a qualification for red cap.
For red cap, really?
But they have spoiled our tradition, destroyed everything because of money, because of position. Anybody can go and put one useless red cap on his head and be talking to people anyhow. You don't do that as in Igbo land. So he said that because he's a red cap chief, that who are you? You demystified your position. You made yourself look so odious before. Igbos don't obey. We don't believe in blind obedience. You must be qualified to be obeyed. You must be qualified to be respected before people will give you that respect. Not because you are elder, not because of the position you are occupying. You must be qualified. You understand? So these are the victims. Natasha is opening up a lot of things in Nigeria. A lot of things. And it was through her now people came to understand that only 4 women are in the house. If that thing didn't happen, how many Nigerians know? They don't even know. Now Nigerians are beginning to know that, only 4 women, 109, only 4 people, something is wrong. You understand? So Natasha is a book of revelation, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, book of revelation.
Yes, she opened up a lot of things, and she continue to open up a lot of things for Nigeria to understand how we roll in this country politically. Look at what they are doing. No convoy, nothing coming into for what purpose? For what reason? You have already made yourself look cheap before people. That's very petty.
0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, and 0915-333-4893. Again, 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, and 0915-333-4893. Remember, you can watch us live on our Facebook page, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook and on YouTube at Wells Radio 893. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. This is George calling back.
All right, Mr. George, thank you for calling back.
You see, I've read some things concerning this woman, Natasha. She said, let us do what we have been doing. She has been visiting her constituencies in the past when they are having this type of ceremony, and she has been reaching out to them. These other senators that are not going to their constituencies, what are they doing with whatever gains they are making from being senator representing their constituency? This woman has gone home again to visit the people, even in the face of all the trials and tribulations that she's going through. We need a change, a true change in Nigeria. I praise her for this effort. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George, and thank you for calling us back. We'll take a break now. When we come back, right after the break, we'll look at more stories and, of course, we take more calls. But still to come, Urami on lockdown by security operatives. What's going on in that area in Edo State? We'll look at that and more when we come back. To stay with us.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
kò má ṣe gbogbo ohun táwọn èèyàn ń wé sórí ní gèlè, ọ̀pọ̀ ló mà ti ń fi gèlè wíwé mú tajérò. Ẹ jẹ́ wá kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ àti ń wé gèlè tí yóò mójú gúnrégé sórí ní kíákíá ní Wells Radio 89.3 FM pẹ̀lú that gèlè chic láti wé gèlè tí yóò mójú yín gúnrégé fún gbogbo àríyá. Eléyìí ni ó wáyé ní 23rd of April sí 24th of April ní Wells Radio 89.3 FM Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate nílùú Ìbàdàn. 20,000 naira péré lówó ìwọlé tí gèlè BJ gèlè àti dá gèlè chiki wà ń digbí fún yín.
Láti kópa nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bá a ṣe ń wé gèlè ìgbàlódé yìí, ẹ pè 07084477686 tàbí 07045238936. Wells Radio 89.3 FM ló ṣe agbátẹrù ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903-936-8185. Call Toby on 0803-509-3394. Yomi on 0706-616-5053. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Welcome back to the program 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 2000, and 0915 334 893. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. An icon, an OAP, Mr. UI.
Good morning to you, Mr. Gbenga Mairo from Akwata. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, sir, Mr. Fikumeka. God bless you, sir.
Good morning.
Now, yes, sir. On Natasha homecoming, I think it's a lousy welcome for her yesterday. And that shows that people of Kogi, like what Mr. Fikumeka said, rightly said, that they're in love with what the woman is doing for them. Because there is saying in Yoruba that a better Saturday would have been known from Friday if he had been doing otherwise. In fact, our welcome yesterday wouldn't have been a rousing one. It connects in Osun State sometimes like last year. A particular senator was coming, I've forgotten the particular area in Osun. The man was coming from Abuja, I think the senator. And when he was alighting from his SUV vehicle, they started stoning him and making some other dangerous weapons at him. And the man can be seen running skater. That shows that man has not done the mistake for his people. But what happened yesterday in Kogi clearly shows that even those people that went to sign the petition against Natasha's cause, it's having a kind of political backing. Because from that rally that happened yesterday, people there, if they don't want Natasha, some of them would have granted a press interview to tell the world or the Nigerians that we don't want Natasha, or our homecoming is they didn't support it. They want us to go, but nobody does that yesterday. You can see, like the rosy welcome they gave us yesterday was like that of the governor, and it was as if it was an electionary period. Recollect that during when Yabilo happened to be the governor of Kogi, when the election was to be conducted for Natasha, recollect that Yabilo went to dig a pothole so that he won't be able to have an access to our area. You can see it was as bad as that. It's like Natasha has been really stepped on toes. Most people they don't want her. Most people are always against her. But there is a saying that one with God is the majority. I feel that God keeps keeping her. God keeps fighting for her. And lastly, on the issue of Abate Milek, is it Milek-Kyari or Milek-Kyari?
No, Milek-Kyari, yeah.
Milek-Kyari has been sacked by where? I think Mr. President, to me, it's a plus to him. It's a plus because that's what we have been saying. How can someone be the CEO of a particular sector and for a number of years, that person will not come out to give us an account of how he has run the office, how much gain he has made so far, how much profit they have made. Nothing of that has been done. And we kept this same man on that particular traffic for a number of years. Nobody is checkmating what he's doing. And if you could recollect, that was what killed the administration of former President Buhari. Because once he has signed someone into a people, he doesn't bother to think. He doesn't bother to make them accountable for the office they are holding.
All right.
So the man that has come on board, the new man that has come on board now, I think we keep our fingers crossed to see how it's going to change the man. I think God will be with him and help him. And on the issue of Milek-Kyari just not only be allowed to rest just like that. I think it should be probed. If there's a position that's going to be signed for that instance, I think I, Gbenga Mario, am interested. Let Kyari come and give an account of how money has been disbursed, how profit has been made in the office he has had for so many years. So I think Nigeria should hold him accountable to come and give us a report of what has happened since he has had that office. If Tinubu can do that for us, I'm telling you, it's going to be a plus to
All right.
his administration.
All right, Mr. Myra. So we can take other calls on the line. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from. Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
Alakia.
All right, Ruth from Alakia. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. No, on the killing of Hunter Semedo, it's really a sad one. Which taking us into one's hands can never solve anything, but add to the issues of this insecurity at hand. So which are we urge the government, they should please prosecute those that did all these things. Because if they continue like this, people will continue with this all this jungle justice of a thing, which is really very bad. So God will help us. Good morning.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ruth from Alakia. Thank you for your call. Let's take some comment on our Facebook feed. Sulaiman Sharif says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. In all, I can see Senator Natasha is smarter than her enemies. Truly, she's not a bastard. I can see the spirit of confidence, poise, intelligence, and boldness to defeat the political conspiracy to stand her, and for celebrating Salah celebration with her constituents. Thank you, Sulaiman Sharif. Molasende Habib Kama Dukwe says, well done from Okwayemi area, Bagi in Ibadan. All right, we're also live on YouTube. So for some reasons, if you cannot watch us on Facebook, you can also watch us on YouTube, and you can drop your comment right there for us on our YouTube platform this morning. Moving on to the last story for today, Urami on lockdown by security operatives. Police, military, and all the security agencies on plainclothes have taken over strategic junctions in the area, most especially around the headquarters of the SN Northeast local government area of Edo State, where 16 northern travelers were killed by a mob last Thursday. The security agents were said to have deployed to stave off reprisals, as residents of the area are now worried over a reprisal attack. A visit to the area yesterday revealed that the residents are now worried about discussing the issues with strained faces following the arrest of no fewer than 14 persons who were said to have been picked randomly from being in connection to that incident. Nothing scares a man than having a conversation with a stranger, especially when you are also living in fear of what is to come. That lockdown and the heavy presence of security operatives, I'm not inciting anything. However, I remember that in Okwama,
exactly
a similar thing happened first.
Yes.
Lockdown of security operatives, fear here and there, and then the other issue that characterized
lock-up of many people. That is the way we rule. And this is what would have prevented. If there is something like governance, do we need vigilantes? We don't need vigilantes. I keep saying it. If security operatives have not failed woefully, if the country has not somersaulted security-wise, we won't have vigilantes. These are the consequences of not doing the things we ought to do. And now, Uromi is on lockdown. And you trust our security operatives. Are they really trained very well to know how to relate to the civilian population without responding to them with a jackboot this thing? Everybody becomes a suspect. With those people they are going to round off, people that are going to arrest, how will they know those who are innocent and those who are not innocent? A lot of things are calling for question. And that's why what happened now, Benue is still boiling. Benue, a lot of people have been killed in Benue. Benue people are crying. Plateau is boiling. We know how Okwama ended. They are still there. Now, Uziromi. Can't we find a way to nip these things in the bud before they happen? Look, Ayo, we have not had the last of this Uromi thing. But I tell Nigerians that there is no need for reprisal attacks on anybody, either in the north or any part of this country. There's no need. What has happened has happened. It will bring back the dead. If we do eye for eye, everybody will become blind. We kill ourselves. At the end of the day, the country is sinking deeper and deeper. Security operatives in Uromi, this is not the time for them to because when something like this happens, anybody they can pick up anybody, take them to Abuja, and innocent people are going to suffer. Let the governor of Edo State tell these people that they must obey the rule of engagement. Remember Odi, 1999. What happened in Odi? Remember Zaki Biam. There are so many flashpoints in Nigeria. Remember what happened? People that didn't even know what happened paid dearly for it. and we must not allow this to continue.
All right, 2 more stories, and I'll just let you, say a sentence or two on each of them. I would have handled the economy better than Bola Tinubu, says Peter Obi. And also, insecurity, states voted 204 billion for firearms and others. Say a sentence or two.
Where did they get the money for fire? It's not a question of bringing firearms.
And this is for local security outfits.
It's not a question. How are they trained? Everything is about training. If you bring firearms and the people that will operate with it are not trained, you are just going to waste lives. There is need for proper training of people you give firearms. Train them very well so that they will not see the firearms you've given to them as a means of livelihood. Because somebody that has gun will wait at any junction and say, what is in your bag? Go there, we want to search you. And they begin to make money with it.
All right.
Now, coming to Peter Obi saying,
yes,
I would have handled the economy, that is his own view. If he should wait, maybe Providence will give him the opportunity to handle the economy better than Tinubu. But for now, that's his own submission.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Ayo. God save Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. Thank you so much, Chukwuemeka. Have you noticed that lately Chukwuemeka has been saying God save Nigeria? Do you want to quickly on that?
No, we need to be saved because when we say God bless Nigeria, He cannot bless us in our iniquity. He need to save us first before He blesses us.
Interesting stuff.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And that's all we can take this morning. All right. Let's keep hoping and let's keep acting and let's keep changing our ways. Dumping of refuse on waterways is one of the ways by which we can start. Going against traffic rules is another one. We can do better to get a better Nigeria. My name is Ayo. Good morning. God bless you.
Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
That Gele Chick in collaboration with
Wells Radio 89.3 FM brings you 2 days advanced